If you like coin collecting and silver and gold stacking and enjoy a really good story, you have found the right video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Enjoy! All right, Russ, here we are again, another coin show and more treasure, literally this time.
Yeah, actual buried treasure. So this is a really cool piece. This is an 1836 Mexican 8 real from the Zacatecas Mint. And it has a special story. It was unearthed in 1982 in New Orleans. They were digging the foundation for a new hotel, the Meridian, in November of 82, and while the backhoe operator was digging this footprint, he grabbed a bucket of dirt, dropped it, and it turned out that there were 2 wooden chests in it, and all these coins just spilled out, and the public and workers just ran in and grabbed and took off. They estimate between 15 and 20,000 coins were recovered. Most of them were Mexican 8 reales, 2 reales, and then seated Liberty quarters. None were dated after 1842, so they think it was probably buried, no earlier, than 1842. So, very cool piece. This one is actually particularly nice. It's an uncirculated piece. It does have a little bit of damage on it for being in the ground for so long, but it's just a really neat piece and a really cool story.
Definitely a cool story. I have to ask, if you were in that vicinity and happened to be walking down the street, what would you have done?
I know my pockets would have been jingling.
You know what? Wow. Can you imagine the surprise from that operator? He probably couldn't get down off of his machine fast enough.
I imagine he was the first one running.
Well, thanks for sharing that one. How's the show going?
It's actually a pretty good show. I'm seeing a lot of people interested in medals at this one, with medals being run up and the election coming and all that stuff. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, and as far as dealers go, maybe a couple of less dealers, but as far as buyers,
yes.
I mean, we're packed.
Yes, good buyers. The last show that we had here, we got kind of disserviced by the amazing weather. We had, an 80-degree day in October in the middle of Indiana, so, people were out enjoying it. Now it's a little cooler, a lot more people coming in, so...
Tell me about the shop. What's been going on, man? Silver, gold?
Gold and silver, just raining. I've had multiple kilo bars of gold come in unannounced. Multiple people dropping 20, 40, 60, 80 ounces of gold.
Yeah.
A lot of first-time buyers, a lot of repeat buyers, but a lot more people selling right this second.
How about dealer to dealer over here? I know you guys love doing that stuff.
Actually been a little slow dealer to dealer, but I think everybody right now is just jam-packed with inventory more than anything. A lot of people are trying to find money right now. We got holidays coming, you got the election scare, all that stuff. So I think money is just a lot more tight for people. And so there's a lot of selling going on right now.
Anything else that you want to show off? You've got a heck of a selection here, man.
Yeah, I decided to make sure that I brought enough gold for everybody and enough silver for everybody.
Yeah, you sure did. You weren't messing around. You also have some ancients over here.
Yep, brought the ancients. I have a crazy amount of silver right now. You've even got ancient stuff in the pit bowl.
Doing some panning for gold out here.
Always, you got it.
And then over this way, lots of graded gold here.
Yeah.
Ooh, and a rattler too.
Yeah, rattlers, graded golds, some better U.S., just the usual stuff.
And these $500 bills.
Yeah.
People go nuts over these things. Man,
yes.
Who buys those? Is it, just...
There are collectors for them that love big bills, and then the other people that buy 500s are guys that like to show off.
Wow. Well, that wouldn't be me. And a lot of good graded stuff over here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here you go. Here's actually the one we should talk about with that.
Check your tickets, everybody.
Remember how I was telling you that a bunch of quarters were found in that hoard?
Yeah.
This is one of those from that hoard.
Oh.
So this was actually found with that 8 reales.
Okay. That's crazy. So whoever buys that 8 real, they might as well pick this one up, too. You have your complete set. And how did that one come in, by the way? It's just over the counter? That was
just a deal that was bought, bought over the counter. Just a deal bought over the counter. Had some really neat shipwreck stuff in it and some other stuff. So, and one of the things that came with it was it's a button. It's a naval button, and it had a little explainer on it. And it was essentially found on a shipwreck from the USS Yorktown, which sank in 1850 off the South American coast. At that point, that ship was built in 1839. It was the steam screw ships. It was a sloop, and it
Say
was
that
doing
3 times fast,
I know,
buddy.
and it was doing anti-piracy and anti-slavery stuff in the Atlantic, and it hit an uncharted reef, and it went down with no loss of life, but the ship sank. So this button came to us, and I was like, oh, that's really neat. So I started doing some research on it, and I found that it's the correct pattern, the correct type. It had saltwater damage on it. It's a naval cap badge, and so as I'm doing the research on it, I start, kind of combing through the Navy's archives and what they say about it. It turns out in 2001, a large group of this stuff was brought up and was going to be sold at Sotheby's for auction. Okay. The Navy interdicted and said, hey, that stuff belongs to us. That's U.S. government property. And they took all of it off the market.
Oh.
So when I found this button, I contacted Naval Heritage and History Command, and I was like, hey, I have this button. Do you guys want it back?
So you did the right thing.
Yes, and sure enough, they do want it back. And so this Friday, I get to go give it back to them at Naval Station Great Lakes. I get to present it back to them. So really cool, really cool.
Very cool, man. All right, Russ, one last question before I hit the bricks.
All right.
Silver, what are you seeing? It climb, went high, taking a little dip. Now, what do you think is going to be the norm in 2025? End of this year and into 2025?
I would love to tell you that I have a magic 8 ball.
Yeah.
Truly, I don't know. However, I am seeing some interesting signs. So if you look at... There's been a couple recent articles that Russia is looking to add silver to their precious metal holdings.
Oh, I heard the same thing, Russ.
Yes, and if Russia does it in earnest like they have with gold, we're going to see silver prices have to go up. Now, the problem is silver is very easily manipulated in the market by, the big banks that have lots of it, by central banks, by large hedge funds, things like that, that keeps silver relatively low. I have a hard time. I know everybody wants to be optimistic and they want to hear me say it's going to go to 50. I really don't know. I honestly think at this point, if we see $40 silver, it's going to be towards the maybe middle of 2025. It might be during ripples after the election, depending on how it goes. And I don't even know which side is going to drive silver up at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I have a hard time. I'm a pessimist by nature, so I have a hard time seeing that $50 number that everybody wants to throw around just because I think it's too easily manipulated.
Let me circle back to that Russia issue. Then I've heard the same rumor. China, everybody around the globe is buying gold. Why would Russia pivot to silver? I didn't get that part of the story.
Okay, so from what I understand, BRICS, which is BRICS is this block of countries that is trying to essentially make their own currency. And so how it will be paid out essentially is it'll be 40% of this currency will be backed by precious metal of any form.
Wow.
And then 60% of it will be backed by the local fiat currencies.
Okay.
So the idea is that Russia is going to use some of that silver as their backing for this BRICS project.
Okay.
So if they do that, if Russia does it and other countries start following suit, like Brazil, like South Africa,
right?
We could see silver go much higher if the central banks really start buying it in earnest.
Okay.
But that's going to be the thing. Is that going to happen?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, that really puts it into perspective. I heard Russia. I didn't hear the why, and so thanks for explaining that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Russia has a lot of sources for precious metals, so we'll see what they can mine domestically and what they have to buy on the open market, because that's going to be the other part of it. So, we'll see.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, man. You too.
Okay, I just got back from the coin show, and this is the point in the video where I show you what I picked up, and you gotta love these old vintage rounds. This one's from '85. And speaking of vintage, Engelhard. Take a look at that one. Love that. And, continuing with the Engelhard theme, there you go. P200267. You've got the vintage bar from back in the day. I'll have to look that one up on allengelhard.com. And can you tell I like Engelhard? I've got a whole rack of Engelhard bars here, the little 1 ouncers. And I'll have to check and see if any of these are consecutive numbers or anything like that. But, how could you not love Engelhard if you're a silver stacker, and if you like the vintage? Why not, check off both boxes by getting a cool vintage and adding a bunch to your stack. And yeah, USA, here we go. Got a couple of those. And then maybe for the PC, the personal collection, I'm not sure. I'll have to see if I have this date. I picked up this Morgan dollar here, and under $100. How do you not like that one? And then last, but certainly not least, piece de resistance. And there you go. You knew I was going to walk away with that one from Russ. We talked about it earlier. What a crazy story. I can't wait to do a little more research on it. But this one's definitely 100% going in the PC personal collection. It'll be hanging on my wall forever. And thank you, Russ. And I'll tell you what, thank you guys for watching. A lot of this stuff, especially these and these, a lot of this stuff will be featured on an upcoming Whatnot auction. So be sure to check the link down in the video description and as a pinned comment. Oh, and by the way, if you watched all the way to this point and you're not currently a subscriber, there's a little button right there. Just click that logo and you'll become a subscriber. And to the left over here, I've put down a couple of videos that you might enjoy. So click there to watch more.